Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the Forsaken Council. And tonight, I believe, we're talking about another raid. Is there a raid going on, guys? I'm not sure. But I say that every raid, by the way. But this is actually the third raid that we've seen as the Forsaken Council as well, which is kind of a benchmark, I think. It's kind of cool. But anyway, we have the update to talk about. I believe there was a few buffs on some holes, and Ren has prepared some beautiful slides. Tonight, we do have Lucy here. Yes, I managed to let her out the cage tonight. Say hello, Lucy.
Hi.
We've got Gadget, who you can see is on camera as usual, looking lovely. Monster's here tonight as well.
Oh.
Hi, Monster. And, of course, the wonderful Ren, who's wearing a rather exquisite hat.
My pirate hat.
Let me look that on there. It says, "Screw wenches, drink rum."
I was actually about to say that.
That's like my old school, taking a modern meme and making it old school. Maybe I should get a career in that. I don't know. But okay, so we will just delve straight into the crunch of it. Ren's already got the slides up. Good man, Ren. And here's Ren's beautiful slides.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say something there, but I'm not going to
I know exactly what you're thinking. I was going to say, I bet that's what you say to all the boys, Ren.
That's what I was going to say.
I wanted to do the show shirtless, but then Gadget wanted to have his pants down, so we didn't come to an agreement on that.
Yeah. No, there was just a whole flip a coin thing, and
you weren't supposed to say anything, man.
Oh, sorry.
Go, Gadget. Right.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So, release notes. May event, Civil War, Broken Council. Zoe has formed the Legion. Do I need to read this all out?
Please.
Most of us have seen the forum. Guys,
Yeah.
the raid's happening. Zoe and Harlock are at war. Things are getting real. It's in the forum, but I'm sure most of you have read it.
Down.
I was trying to avoid saying that word, Lucy.
Yeah. I'm Team Zoe. I mean, you know what? Some people had a great idea that this whole thing, we should be able to take sides, and the prizes will change depending on the size you pick.
Well,
Awesome.
they did that in another Kickstarter game, and I wasn't a big fan of it, but
No?
could be good. Could be good, yeah. I'm a big fan of Zoe too. I don't know. I did actually make a comment in the forum, Lucy. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, Zoe's good.
Should I be worried, or?
Well, no.
Okay.
Ren, feel free, mate. You read into it. You've written the slides.
No, nothing to read. I mean, not a lot of holes. Some holes got buffs, which is good news, I guess. Yes?
Very good news. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about those buffs. Most of the holes seem to have got a corrosive buff, and they're almost all pretty much the same, except for the couple of lower ends there. And the Kodiak and the Savage Kodiak, thank God, have finally got a speed increase, because they needed that for those that use them.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that they now have exactly the same speed as the Rhino, which is great.
Mm-hmm. They were always a very, very slow fleet. I mean, if you were running speed system 3, you were like combat speed 18. And I think when they jumped to speed 5, you went up to like 19 point something, depending on your retrofit, which was slow, very slow in this kind of game that we're in now. So, it was a great buff. I was really glad to see the speed buff on those two.
Yeah.
Also,
and I actually want to try when the raid starts, and I even put a poll up on our Facebook page. It's I think Savage Kodiak can actually do better than Harlock Aegis as flagship, because the Harlock Aegis gives you 28% reload buff. The Kodiak gives you 50%.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, none of them should be taking damage because they'll be behind a little bit. So you have a tank taking the damage, and that tank will be buffed by 50% on resistance against missiles.
Mm-hmm.
And the Harlock Aegis gives you 45, 48, something like that, 45, I think. So I think you can do way more damage if you run with the Savage as flagship with your rhinos than running with the Hardlock Aegis. Assuming none of them will be tanking anyways. And the other benefit is, if you're running and kiting, and by any chance one of those heavy cruisers with scatterguns starts getting too close, the Savage Kodiak fires a pinch missile every now and then that freezes the enemy right on its track. So it's good too, you know.
I actually, I in the previous server, I used a dry Savage Kodiak and 4 Apollos in the fleet that I was using originally, and it did run very well. It did run. I kind of would be a little bit concerned about its defenses, you know. So it's almost like made of glass, the Savage in the current game. So
yeah, but I'm assuming it's not going to take damage. I'm just going to leave it behind with the rhinos and just the tank running ahead, right? In that scenario with good driving, it should make your fleet deal more damage per second there than a Hardlock Aegis. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
See, I looked at the buffs on the Savage Kodiak and Kodiak itself, and it just looked to me like they may have actually given some of the lower level guys a fleet which could hit sea sets and stuff like that, if they've got them built.
I may be hitting C sets yet. You never know. I may be dusting off the old Kodiaks and going at them.
Yeah.
But no, I fully agree, and it's nice to see that they didn't just give attention to the top end of the scale in terms of like Rhino, Zoe Rhinos. They didn't just say, okay, guys, here are coiners, here's an extra chance, and they went back and give it to the low end techs as well, and the techs that the players new to the game would be using. And I think that was key for them to do that. So that was a big thumbs up for them. Yes. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Lucy, Gadget? Any input on this or?
Not really.
No, I've got nothing on the whole buffs.
Because they were originally going to do the Punisher, and then I messaged them and let them know that Gadget didn't want that to happen, so they did decide against buffing the Punisher. Gadget, how do you feel about that? Oh god.
How many fleets of Punishers do you have, Gadget?
He's not biting tonight. He's not biting. So.
You must have like 3 or 4 fleets of Punishers.
I think Gadget has actually become a Punisher. He's
so
one
many.
with the Punisher. Yeah. I'm not gonna. He should change his name to Punisher. That would be such a cool name.
There's so many Punishers.
There is. Okay. Well, I personally thought the whole buffs were great. Wanted to make sure we gave them credit for that. So feel free to move on, Ren, if you want.
Bug fixes and tuning.
Woo!
It's a lot of words, and it's a lot of things that I don't think really make a difference overall.
There is no way that this game has bugs. No way.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the line will be on top of the cryo field. A menu will not show your faction when you click on open water because it's not a fleet. It's all a bunch of silly things that they fixed. I mean, I wish they fixed some more important things that are broken, but this is what they fixed. So.
Quite often when we see the bug fixes, it always seems to be things that I've never ever seen. Like very rarely, I would say maybe one bug fix a month is something that's in my life. It's quite strange, really.
The one thing they fix is the last one, that it doesn't matter right now, but it will matter after this raid. I think it's because they had problems with weapons having primary and secondary mode, like the Gatling gun and the new Switchblade. So now they kind of like fixed the range display, which was something that was annoying everyone, because if you have a Revenge, it only shows one range. If you have the new Switchblade, it's only showing in preview was only showing the range of the countermeasure, but not the missile range. So I think they fixed that now. That's good. Okay. Yeah, everything else to me is noise.
Yeah, but it's I guess somewhere in a very remote sector there'll be one player that'll look at that list and go, finally, So maybe they'll make someone's day.
Maybe event briefing.
Event briefing.
Goals.
What did you say?
I said goals because it says event briefing - goals.
Yeah.
That wasn't anything cool I said. I just read it off there.
Yeah, That's just the briefing, and I think the key part is it's the same old, 3 sets ABC.
Yeah.
Except now the sets have less targets. Set C has only 3, not 5. Set B has only 4, not 5. Set A is the same, 3 targets, and then there's the mega hole on the elite
So I
level.
presume the damage will be increased since there's less targets.
I mean, one would hope that the damage stays the same or goes down because the points went down. That's for sure.
Hmm.
We'll talk about that soon. Uranium. The only thing, I mean, there are some uranium awarded when you reach certain point thresholds. The last threshold, I think, is 10 million points. You get 20,000 uranium, and after that, that's it. Either you gotta go and hit Manowars on the map and get 42k, or you don't get any uranium.
Gotcha. I'd stay away from those mana wars, man.
Lucy, you ruined it. I was about to start ripping him.
No,
about that.
Gadget, just stay away from this time, bud. Don't hit them.
Gadget loves the Man of Wars, Rennie. Absolutely loves them.
I don't know the story. What's the story?
Oh my god, right, so we were... He was like, oh, how did I get uranium? And Monster and everyone was like, go and hit a man of war. And he sent his gross crawler, and he died. Then he sent his rhinos, and he died. And he
No,
sent
it was his Punishers, and they died.
And then he put a post on the page, and he's like, look, guys.
I'm so annoyed. I'm done with this. No,
A lot of words. He's like, I can't hit the man of wars. And then Monster was like, what? It was brilliant.
You know what? Fuck you guys.
It was actually hilarious. Alliance comms, he was just ranting. It was so good.
Yeah, okay.
Gadget is a very funny guy when he gets angry.
He is brilliant. Brilliant.
Anyway.
Yeah, there's a guy in my alliance, Royal Navy. I mean, he was hitting the mana wars and just really not taking much damage at all.
Yeah, I think Monster, didn't you get them down very low with your rhinos?
Yeah.
Didn't you kill your ghost crawler first time though?
I got them down really low with my Rhino and Punisher fleet. It was just that, you know, everything about the Man of War, you know, when they were talking about it was like, oh yeah, its weakness is subs because it doesn't have any thermal. You know, and you go in there and there's like fucking Artemis is on acid. You know what I mean, right? I mean, like they were faster than my Ghost Crawler. My Ghost Crawler's got a sub-combat speed of like 75.
Well, not anymore.
And they were on top of me in seconds, man. Like it was unbelievable.
I love you, Gadget. You're actually hilarious.
That was good times, man. I would actually like to see a film, like a video of
Gadget region.
But like his face and then the screen. And like Gadget's face is hitting them. That would be my Christmas present right there.
It's like the German kid that rants.
Yeah, kids
just German kid.
You said subs, and he's slamming it.
My ghost crawler.
Okay, so points. Let's talk about points because everyone's talking about points and everyone's happy about the point payout, right?
No.
That silence. Kicks eye. Listen to that silence.
I thought we were hitting them for resources. To get points as well.
So let me share all the good news, right? And then you guys can comment. I mean, first of all, the targets are not co-op, right? So that's great, isn't it?
No.
No. How are lures supposed to do the raid without help?
Oh, on their own. Hello.
Oh, obviously. Jeez. How did I not think of this? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, no, but all they've got to do is build some Apollos, because then they'll be able to do it.
Oh,
yeah, the low level should build some Apollos so they can do C-sets. That's a great idea, Liam.
I'm totally going to do that.
That's my tip of the week. That's going out.
Yeah. So, you know, then C-set. If you're a low level, you get 70,000 points for killing the 3 of them on your own and the bonus. So you get all of 70,000 points. If you're low level, if you're high level, you get less than that because the points go down if you hit targets below your base level, no matter what technology you have. You know, so my quick math here is if you're catching up, if you're really a low level and you want to catch up in the game, you do 25 C-sets and you can redeem for a Rhino, which is a big step up, I think, for a low level. Make sense? Doesn't make sense?
It makes sense, yeah, and I think that's a good bit of advice there.
A lot of people are saying in chat, like, you can prep for lower levels and just leave a turret. However, what if, like, someone in your alliance has prepped a turret, you retreat, and someone jumps in?
What, snipes?
Yeah, someone else snipes that and gets the point, and then...
Yep.
Yeah.
But you run that risk every raid.
That's gonna happen. I mean, you know, like, oh.
More so this raid, though.
You don't run that risk every raid, because when it's co-op, that you're both in at the same time. So no matter what happens, even if someone gets sniped, when that thing dies, you're getting the points. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this way, I got to retreat to let that lower person hit, and if someone hits them with a phantom fleet, just as I retreat, and then they hit the fucking thing, they've got it. Do you know what I mean? And they've taken the point. Sorry.
Yeah, but heaven forbid we actually be pirates and start stealing from each other. You know, I mean, that's I don't know. I don't really see that we're going to see. I don't really foresee that we're gonna have tons of players swarming our sectors to sit outside and steal our targets.
Yes, we are, because if they can't do the raid themselves, the only way they can do it is by picking on the people who can do it. Does that make sense?
But the C sets and B sets are such.
But honestly, I mean, who's gonna be prepping C sets for others? I mean, people either can do C sets or they can. What people are going to be stealing are A sets, because then if a big guy will prepare an A target, and then somebody's going to steal that, or
I just don't. I think that every raid should be co-op. If
you're going to steal, you gotta go big.
I mean, it's just.
If you're going to steal, you got to park outside a mega hole. You know?
Yeah, I like co-op. I like co-op as well. You know, I think at least the elite target should always be co-op.
Yep.
At least. I mean, I'd rather everything should be co-op, but at least the elite target.
It just seems like to me that they've streamlined this raid for the bigger players.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I mean, we were doing the math in forums the other day. Kyle and Kiram and a few other guys were just back and forth on a thread there doing the math. And if you want the new ship, the Apollo, the new Switchblade, and the new special, 30 million points, you gotta complete 93 B sets.
Well, that's not bad.
Well, that's 400 battles.
My jaw got open. I was like, whoa.
Lucy, after show. Okay.
So 93 B sets, which is about 400 battles in 4 days, and even if each battle takes you 5 minutes, it's 100 battles a day. It's 500 minutes a day. So you should only be playing for 9 hours a day doing B sets.
Only
9 hours a day, including Friday and Monday and Thursday, right? Of course.
That just won't get to work.
And you can get the top prize. And by the way, of course, that's only if you're not too high a level, because if you're too high a level, you score less points by hitting B sets.
This is just ridiculous. That's my word for this raid. Ridiculous.
Well, even if you were a big level and you just wanted to grind, you couldn't.
Yep.
Because it just wouldn't be worth it.
I mean, there does become a time when there comes a cut-off period as to the time you can invest. I mean, I certainly won't be able to invest in 9 hours a day.
No.
I remember early in my game, there were raids when only 4 people in sector would score the one prize. I mean, there was only one prize, people remember that, and only top 4 in sector got that one prize. And I remember grinding 9 hours a day and having very little sleep and having my wife pissed off at me. I don't do that anymore. You know, that was ugly. But, you know, if somebody wants to do that, hey, be my guest. Go grind B sets.
I remember in a revenge raid, I think it was Base Invader 6, and I sat down and played for 4 days with about 6 hours sleep, straight through. But it was different back then. You know, it was worth it. Yeah.
And the other thing is, back then there was nothing else to grind on the whole month. I mean, no Forsaken mission, no campaigns, no mines, no uranium bases, no armadas, nothing like that.
We just used to go out and smash each other, you know, just kill each
other.
Okay.
It was okay to grind hard on a raid for 3-4 days, but then the rest of the month you just played with whatever you had, whenever you wanted. It was easy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I know. I fully agree. I mean, it's the game's different now, and you know, I think Kicks. I do need to take a look at it. Need to take a look at how they set these raids up. Now, I'm not gonna. You know, Saturday's show. I kind of felt that Saturday's show was very. I left the show feeling that I'd done a negative show, and that really depressed me because I don't like to come out here and provide a negative show. But I kind of just felt on Saturday that I didn't really have a great deal of good things to say, and that really I was just being honest. I was being honest for the players and honest with how I felt. But I almost was expecting that Kickside would have took the feedback from the preview and they would have took the information that people were saying on pages and forums, and this raid would this raid would have been. Preach
it, Liam. Preach it.
But I felt like they would have changed it. I felt it would have been different. I felt we would have seen some changes, you know, and we haven't.
I have tears, Liam. These men are crying.
Things have gone from bad to bloody worse. That's what's happened there, you know, and I don't get it. I just don't get it.
That was so emotional. I just want to say, like, I don't understand why. This is a Kickside. I don't understand why you would try and rebalance the game, and what you've done is the first few weeks of when you made everyone's ships obsolete. That was cool for me. I was happy about that because it benefited me, and I thought, okay, so the new way's going to go. There's new tech going to come out. Everyone's going to get a chance to get it. The raids will be structured differently. They'll be easier. Blah 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 blah, and then boom, I realized that. We're back at square one. If you want to keep up in the game, you have to coin. If you want to do raid, you have to get the new ship. You have to coin the new ship. Use that ship. It's just ridiculous, and I feel like the game's even worse than what it was before. Right now, it's even worse than it's ever been. And for me, I won't be playing this raid at all. There's nothing I can do. The points aren't worth it. I don't have the time to sit, as Ren said, 9 hours a day. I don't have that time, so therefore. This raid for me, and probably for many other low levels, is a no-go, unfortunately. So, thank you, Kixeye.
Yeah, and now just to contrast with that, it's you look at the ASAT, and I did the same math. If you have the fleets to hit the ASAT, you do it 16 times, and not only you get the 30 million for the top 3 prizes, the new ones, but you also can get all the tokens. And I think when the top level guys can get all the tokens and can get all the top prizes with 16 rounds, which is 4 a day, which is way easier. You probably can do 4 rounds a day in 2 hours, which is very reasonable. And the mid levels need to grind 93 times just to get the top 3 prizes. You know. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying even if you coin, by the way, I say 9 hours a day, that's even if you coin all the repairs. I just meant 5 minutes per target, 4 targets per round, 93 rounds, that's 100 battles a day. If you coin your ass off to kill them, it's still 9 hours a day of gameplay, right? I
thought one of the big rebalances of the game was to enable the players that didn't have the tech or the smaller players to catch up. But with this raid, I mean, you've got to have this hull to do the next raid cheaper. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to get this hull. And I'm just sorry. Unless the bigger guys are prepared to put their arse in a seat and spend their coin to help smaller guys get it, then there's no way that they're going to get it all.
Yeah, and then pretty much that's my view, right? It's like the real low levels should be happy about this raid because you do 25 C sets and you get a Rhino. Now, the high levels should be happy because you can do 16 A sets or 12 elite sets and get all the top prizes and the tokens. Everyone in the middle, pardon my French, is fucked.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because either you got to play 9 hours a day and coining, or you need people to do stuff for you.
Mm-hmm. See, I kind of feel that we're kind of stuck in a bad situation in terms of content at the moment because I don't feel that, you know, right now, right, for the high-end players and for the mid-level players, like Monster just said, you've got to go out and win the Apollo. The reason you've got to go out and win the Apollo is that means that next raid you'll be able to do it cheaply, and the following raid you'll be able to do it cheaply, and maybe at the end of this raid cycle, if we see a whole store, you're laughing because you've got your Switchblades that can do it cheaply. Cool, great, fantastic. But I don't think that's how it should be. I mean, already we're looking at this whole 20-day build per ship. Across, even if you go for a 4-ship fleet, that's 80 days. Now the next raid's in 30 days, so Kickstarter want me to coin 50 days, and okay, cool. There's tokens. I can probably bring that down a bit, but not a great deal, And we had the same last raid. Last raid cycle, the first raid they released the Citadel. The Citadel was the best hull to do that raid with. I coined a fleet of Citadels, and when the whole store came, I was able to do it very, very cheaply. And prior to that, Centurions. Kickstarter saying you coin a Centurion, and then the next week, mines and dubs and stuff come out and whatnot, or mines and stuff. I mean, we shouldn't be getting given a new content in terms of like a new raid cycle or a new target to hit and saying, here you're gonna have to win this hull and build it to be able to do this. But here it is. I don't think that's right.
Yeah. Well, like I was doing the math earlier, and I think today, at this very moment in game, you need 7 different fleets to be able to play all aspects of the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying old fleets. You need 7 different good fleets. Mm-hmm. So you can do raid with one, you can do mines and dubs with another one, you can hit player bases with another one, you can guard your base, you can do armadas with another one, and then you can do what was the other thing? Oh, New Forsaken Mission with another one. Mm-hmm. And then my 7th one was subs. I mean, everyone needs kind of like a fleet of subs. It's always useful, right? Mm-hmm. So it's 7 fleets. Just to do different things. And the problem now, before, you could kind of like build a duck-like fleet, right? And the duck is that one bird that can fly a little bit and swim a little bit and run a little bit. And with that one fleet, you could do pretty much almost everything in game, or half the game with one fleet and the other half with another fleet. So,
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. I fully agree with what you said. I mean, I'm not saying back in the day like it was back in the old times, but we were used to a game where you could every month we would see a new hull or a new turret, but 9 times out of 10 it would be a new hull. And that hull was optional. Like, you could win that hull. You could coin a fleet and go and smash some bases. Yeah, cool. You could do that. But you didn't have to. You didn't have to win that fleet. Whereas now we seem to be in a game where they're no longer releasing these hulls and saying, you could get it if you want, but you don't have to get it. Now we're in a game where they're releasing hulls that you have to be able to do the content that's coming in the future. And I'm a little concerned about that kind of attitude towards the game. I don't.
Because you gotta think, right? I mean, what is the value in getting the Apollo? Because I get the Apollo, and the Apollo is going to be really good at that one thing, but I'll never be able to use the Apollo to do mines, or I'll never be able to use the Apollo to defend my base, or to hit a base, or to do an armada. I mean, maybe do an armada. I don't know.
Well, it would never be able to do any of those roles. I mean, the Kickstarter are making these targets now so technical that they have to design.
Yeah, and the other thing is inflation, right? I mean, the top hull in the raid used to be, I think, 9 million points or 12 million points, and now it's 15 million points or 16 million points. So we're having to score more and more points to get a hull that has a ever narrowing usefulness. Mm-hmm. Right? So I don't know. To me, it's that big law of diminishing returns starts applying here.
So how do we feel that they could change this? I mean, we're laying down some of the things we're unhappy about. What about some positive solutions?
Some positives would be to bring back co-op, increase the points,
give away free gold.
Yeah, I mean serious. Like, co-op is really important for the game. It's how little players get prizes and how they can progress.
I mean, what's the point in being in an alliance if you can't help you fucking...
And not to mention, I mean, even if you're not helping somebody who's below you, even if you're just you and another good player doing a co-op, it's just more fun.
Yeah, because you get to
Multiplayer.
like you'll have TeamSpeak open or something, and you'll just sit and or like me and Liam will just sit and shout at each other of where we're going, what is to kill. Yeah, it's good. It's how you bond with someone. Like, well, that sounds really bad, but you know what I mean. How alliances get close to each other, they help each other, they grow together.
Yeah.
I think co-op's really important, and the points as well. The points are terrible.
Mhm.
Well, is it just me that thinks that? Like, I think the points are ridiculous.
Well, we're talking about targets that none of us have fleets really capable of hitting.
Exactly, yeah. Like, if you want to kill the target, you need to have the new ship. And even then, the new ship from the preview looked absolutely horrendous.
It did. Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, and here's something I would say would be a useful thing for Kickstarter to do, is don't release the hull we need to do the raid with in that raid as a prize. You know, give it to us before. It's an 80-day build.
You know the funny thing? They did that right with the Rhino. If you guys remember, back in August, the Rhino came out in the last cycle of the River raids. And they were intended, everyone should build the Rhinos to fight the Scourge. That was the thing coming the month after.
Mm-hmm.
So they did it right back then.
There's no reason, right? Okay, I know that we had this stage of PvP, PvE division and rebalance, so it was important for them to push out a PvP hull last raid. But in all fairness, for what they did to everyone's fleets, they could have just give away that hull and instead put the Apollo in the last raid. If the Apollo was in the last raid and then Kickstarter said, look, for the next raid, you guys need to get that built, and that was posted in the forums, I can guarantee you, people would be close to getting it built, or, there would be a lot less pissed off people right now. It may be a little hindsight on Kickstarter's part. Maybe just in future, maybe work retroactive, give away the hull needed before you bring in the new cycle. That would be a solution that I would say would solve a lot of issues.
The thing that concerns me as well is like when this raid cycle changes and we normally have 3 or 4. Are we then gonna need a new hull again?
Yep, 4 months.
Exactly. So are we gonna get a 4-month lifespan of this fleet, which could possibly take you 80 days to build without coin? Yeah, you could get it down with tokens and stuff. So you're going to miss at least 2 of those raids. If you're not going to coin the fleet, you won't have this fleet for.
Mm-hmm.
So you're only going to have it for the last 2. And then if they start a new cycle again, are we going to need a new hull again?
Well, you will. I mean, that's the pattern they're on at the moment, isn't it? It's the pattern we've been on for the last 2 raid cycles. Don't forget that when we had Raken on the show, a huge shout out to Raken if you're watching. We had Raken on the show, and he did say at that time that Kickstarter were going to start trying to give hulls a longer shelf life, and by doing so would take, like for example, the last raid cycle, we're expecting to see those targets be revamped into the Forsaken missions. Therefore, my Citadel fleet should have a very long shelf life. So maybe that's what we're going to see with the Apollo. Maybe at some point, the current raid cycle that we've not even touched yet, to be fair, is going to be revamped into the game when this raid cycle ends.
Do you know what it is? I feel like it at the moment, the way things are and the way it makes me feel, I'm not saying it's the way it is, it's just the way it makes me feel, is that this whole rebalance thing they did was just a ploy to make everything I had obsolete and force me to have to spend more coin getting the new stuff. Because I just don't see any rebalance, the rebalance they did made all my fleets obsolete, but then they brought out a hull that, maybe it doesn't get in every base, but, the vast majority of bases it gets in. So, where's the rebalance there? It was just like another click and win hull once you got the build right. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and now they're slowly making it so that my PvE hulls are no good, and I have to coin a new hull for PvE. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's making me resent it, mate, to be honest, because I feel like I'm being forced to do something rather than being given a choice whether to do it or not.
I do kind of feel on that subject that you said there with your choice being taken away, and I know this is something, Ren, that you were talking about earlier, and it's something that I think we've all talked about a little bit recently. Is I do kind of feel that the game is becoming more restricted in terms of our freedom of choice. You know, we're now being told what hole should do what. It's being put into a bracket and given a stripe. You know, that whole freedom and creativity of just taking a hole and saying, "Oh, do you know what? I want to do this with this hole. I'm going to put this weapon on it, and I'm going to go out and," you know what I mean? And that was where some of the most greatest ideas in this game came from. Is from that crazy idea that a player just had and then put together and made a video out of it. You know, and I miss that. I miss that inspiration, that moment of madness. And with this whole, you know, this hole's a siege and this hole's an assault, and you know, it kind of just, it's like, okay, cool. So, you know, what am I meant to do? Just listen to what you say and build it. There's nothing there anymore.
No independence, you mean?
Well, it's just, I don't know, almost like freedom of speech when it comes to building ships.
Well, I think it's more about, like, I think the right word here is, like, it's lacking excitement, right? Because when you found a way of beating the game, or you found a way of outsmarting the other players because you found a better build, it was just exciting. Right, and all the bragging rights and defeating the other guys, and the guys like scratching their heads, calling you a hack and whatnot. You know.
Exactly, that was the challenge, right? Especially in things like raids, right? You know, you'd find a way early on in the raids to do it, like very efficiently, and that was part of the challenge to you, right? And now it's like if anyone does that and posts a video of it, they fix it. That's why a lot of people don't post raid videos now.
Gotcha, I'm sure.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, you post a video.
People won't post a video until after they've done what they want to do because they're scared that if they do, Kixeye will fix it so they can't do it anymore.
Yeah, and that's why in the Revenge raid last year, I never recorded or posted any videos of me doing all the ASAT with Banshees. And, you know, I know at some point people started learning how to do it, but I didn't want to post it.
I kind of feel like at the moment, honestly, I do feel morale was low in the game, and I hope that that's not something that continues, because I'm seeing it in my alliance. Like, I'm seeing it in the pages. I kind of feel like everyone just seems a little bit depressed right now, you know, and I hate that. I want everyone to smile and be happy and enjoy the game
and kill stuff.
And I kind of feel that the last couple of months has been difficult. It's been difficult on the community. There's been so much going on. There's been so many changes. You know, there's most players out there still don't understand deflection. Most players out there still don't really understand the division. Most people out there still don't understand how the Gatling gun on the Revenge works. You know, there's so much content that's been hit at us.
I think a lot of it is as well is no one's too sure about how long these fleets are gonna last, because we know from past years at Kings, they bring out a fleet like the Revenge, they clip to the back of the base fleet, and we know for a fact, like, they'll bring out one ship gun or one base gun, and it will stop that fleet dead. In its
well, they can do.
Tracks. Yeah. So people are like, do I put 4,000 coins in to coin this fleet, or do I build this fleet knowing that by the time I get it built, it could be stopped?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be stopped. Yeah, and most, I mean, that's just my guess here, right? I think right now the Revenge is the only PvP hull. So if they do anything to stop the Revenge on its tracks, they will just kill the game, because then there's nothing left to hit bases. And then, you know, they said for the PvE hulls, they want them all to have like a shelf life of about 10 months. So you saw the Citadel, 5 months of raids, or 4 months of raids that could be done with the Citadels. And now from May to December, at least, because they said they won't touch it again in 2016, you can use the Citadel to do FM. So that's a bit over 10 months of shelf life. Same with the Rhinos. I mean, the Rhinos have been working since August, and I think they still have this whole raid cycle of life in them. So it's over 10 months as well. You know, it's okay there. I'm more concerned with the whole killing the creativity, killing the spontaneity, killing the excitement of the game, just making it a series of prescribed steps you have to follow to get things done.
We're becoming cheap, is what you're saying. We're just following. We're following the flock. We're following the shepherd.
Yeah. So guys, I mean, sorry, let's move on.
We've been on this slide for ages.
Yeah. So mega hole. I think everyone saw the mega hole from the preview. It's the
No,
same
I don't
one.
think. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say I don't know if everyone even caught the preview. I mean, for those that didn't, check out our YouTube channel because there is a stream of the preview server there, and Ren made some awesome videos of the preview as well. So for anyone that didn't catch it and wants to have a quick look at this raid before they go into it tomorrow, go and check that out. Although a lot could have changed, but still.
Yeah,
the mega hole is like insane.
Yeah, the best way I found to break it down was go in, trigger on the four sides, trigger the rhinos with some drones or some gunboat or whatever, make them move, kill them on each side. So and again, I mean that means you're going to be going in and out multiple times. You can be sniped and all that stuff. But I don't think it's good to be done in a single battle, unless you want to coin more or spend more on repairs. Then I noticed you could use your punishers on the turrets, doing well there with siege battery and whatnot. And then, fast rhinos were the best option against the mega hole itself. Until people have the Apollo. I mean, I bet you're going to see by Saturday some people with fully coined fleets of Apollos hitting those guys. I mean, there's crazy people out there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much that's where Kicksai said, the mega hole, it's ideal to be taken by the Apollo because you can quickly go in, fire, get out before the scatterguns fire on you.
You can drop his load and get out before no one notices.
Yeah, and there was a post I think yesterday or today by Rooster saying that the mega holes are going to start appearing outside of the raid cycle, so on map. For other things. So they're saying, even during the raid cycle now, we'll start seeing mega holes on regular basis on the map. I don't know what for, but they're saying that so people are cognizant that the Apollo will be useful on things outside of the raid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, what did you think, Ren, of the mega hole? I know you did a video and you spent some time trying them out. What was your opinion on them?
Based on what Gadget said, I'm afraid whatever I say here can be used against me. But
you guys are sat in your tinfoil hats right now, I'm sure.
Yeah, but honestly, I think I can bring damage down to 6 hours in raid.
Right.
And if I put Grease Monkeys on, that means 3 hours or even less.
6 coins a hit.
6 coins a hit, and I know if I do 12 of them, I get all the prizes and all the tokens. So that's probably how I'm going to get this raid done.
That's very nice. I would like to see that. Make a private video, Ren, like the one you did before, just me and you, okay?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Just kidding.
Never happened.
Never happened. No, I forgot. So do we have any more slides? We do have some more slides.
Yeah. So the Apollo, here are the numbers. I think the whole description of the Apollo. It starts at a fairly good speed. As long as you keep moving, it accelerates more and more and more until it gets 150% extra combat speed and 300% extra turn speed. So it's really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Still no.
Problem is when you stop for more than 3 seconds, you lose all the bonuses, and then there's a recharge time of 5 seconds. So you got to make sure you stop all the holes or you move all the holes together, otherwise they'll go all out of sync and start moving at different speeds.
And the slow threshold that's listed as a stat there, is that the threshold in which you can be slowed? So 30%, is that saying that you could only have your speed reduced by 30%?
Yeah.
Or I misinterpreted that, right? Is that right?
No, there's no threshold. I don't understand that.
Well, I would say that's a threshold of the maximum you can be slowed. Say for example, if someone's hitting you with disruptor cannons or whatnot, it's.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Third bullet there. So if the Apollo is slowed or stunned, the bonus will diminish by up to 30%. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
This must be one of the first missile holes I've seen in a long time without retargeting on it.
Oh,
true.
don't get me started on that.
And that's because the weapon has retarget, right? So
But-
again, they're making it on purpose, so it kind of forces you to use that one weapon.
Mhm. But in my experience of using that weapon in the preview, that thing did not retarget. I mean, that thing. I mean,
And Liam, honestly, we have to forget about the preview because the code wasn't finished during the preview, right?
Okay.
So it wasn't
Okay.
retargeting because they said it was like 50-60% coded, not all there. So, you know.
Okay. I apologize then. I didn't.
No, it's okay.
No, I've never heard
Thanks.
that. I didn't hear that word said. That what you just said there.
Sorry. So
No,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, if that's the case, then that's great. That's absolutely great. That's exactly what I would like to hear.
So, anyways, I mean, we have a choice. You put guided missile system on this hull, and it gains retarget, just like Rhino doesn't have retarget, by the way, on the hull.
Mm-hmm.
Or you use the new special, and then you use the new weapon, and the weapon in itself has retarget. It's the first time a weapon has the retarget on its own stats and not rely on the ship stats, right?
Mm-hmm. So what do you think of the whole, looking at its stats value, guys? Looking at the bare hull there, I mean, anything stands out to you, or?
Repair time sucks.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah.
You could repair 3 Revenges in that time, could you not?
Yep.
That's pretty silly, but true.
I wonder if this is going to get an repair time buff.
Well,
Point.
you know, it's not against the realms of possible, is it? I mean, in fact, it was something that was stated that did I not see a post somewhere that I know? I mean, with the Revenge, that they buffed it and changed it because they felt it wasn't working as intended, and perhaps if they feel that this isn't working as it's meant to, they'll do the same with this.
But then my question is, like, they just made that mess with the Revenge a month ago, where the hull came out with over 4-hour repair time naked, and then they lowered it to 2 hours and something, and now it's an hour and something. I mean, they just went through that whole cycle of making changes after release.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I thought they'd get this one right from.
I would think one would think people would be smart enough to learn a lesson there, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you know, no. It's again 3 hours and 20 minutes naked hull. I don't even know why the hull needs all that armor, because everyone wants to put the top armor on it, right? So you get the best buffs you can.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you want to put evade on this hull or missile defense, then you're going to be putting the big plates on to get the best stats. Like so.
Here, yeah.
Well, there, look, yeah. So
there you go. I put 2 builds there. I mean, I'm not saying they're the best ones at this time. I'm just saying the one on the right, I only put D2E, and still it's 4 hours and 10. So a fleet of 4, 16 hours to repair.
Do you hear that, guys? Ren said these are the absolute best builds for the Apollo, and they're undisputed. And if you do not agree, then PM him and tell him about it.
No. So, and then the other one, I put as many of the D5s as I could. So you see you gain some evade, not much, but then all of a sudden it goes up to 5 hours and 10 minutes per hull. That's ridiculous.
yeah. That's 20 hours of fleet, and that's if you're not running a lead as well. Like, it's just gonna. It's hate to say it, but it's like revenge times again, isn't it?
Yeah, and it seems like nobody learned a thing from that repair time, and everyone hating the hull because of that, right?
Exactly.
Mm. Yeah, I just I feel very deflated a little bit with the build time and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm to talk about good things on this hull, the reload is amazing. 140% reload is monster.
Mm-hmm.
You get
Not much.
Yeah, if you get the right special there on the right side, I got it up to 170% reload.
Mm-hmm.
Right? On the left-hand side, I put frontline countermeasure system, so that gives you a turret defense buff of 50%. Still buffs your countermeasures, and it gives you retarget on the special, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, the build times I got were 15 days, 18 days. I didn't make it up to 20 days, as some people were saying. Maybe I'm using the wrong things. I don't know. But
Mine, the one I looked at was only 20 days because I was using all top armor plates, mate.
okay.
So, yeah.
So there you go. And that's it about the Apollo. Then we have the Switchblade, the counter missile extender. Do you guys want to talk about the Switchblade?
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, we've got to show the prizes. So, yeah,
I mean, how's this going to work? I mean, I'm still a bit confused about it, which is like crazy. But when you use phalanx and missiles, your missiles will fire even if you're getting shot by missiles because your phalanx will just take them out. Now, with this thing, does one stop while the other one fires,
Yes.
or do they both fire
Yes.
at like the same time?
No, if you're fighting someone who's firing at you non-stop, in theory, you would never fire because you're always going to be busy in the countermeasure function. Yeah.
Well, that just seems absolutely mental to me.
Well, and to me, that's only like I would never build a fleet full of these guys. I would probably use these guys in place of flanks, right? I mean, if my fleet before had 2 or 3 flanks, I would use 2 or 3 of these guys, and the rest would still be blades or harriers or whatever. Because you're right. I mean, if there's a stream of missiles coming at you, they will not be firing. They will be defending.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which just seems nuts.
Yeah, that's what I don't like them, and they got quite a low accuracy as well, right? Their base accuracy is lower than other missiles that are.
No, it's 100% Gadget.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's down there.
I'm looking at the wrong place. But either way, it's that mechanic that really bothers me about them. It's the fact that there's a potential there for incoming fire to interrupt your outgoing fire. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or vice versa, however it works. But that's what really bothers me about it. Because I feel like, oh, what? So I'm going to be there shooting away, and they fire a volley of missiles at me, and I switch to countermeasures and stop shooting at them. Do you know what I mean? And that's going to be a problem, I think.
Now, one thing that I think is broken at this point, if you look at the stats, it gives you a 3% corrosive defense bonus, right? But if I go back to the other page where I had the builds there, the base corrosive defense on the Apollo is 50%. I added 6 of the new Switchblade, and it didn't go up.
Oh yeah, look, it's still there, isn't it?
That's weird because it should have gone up by 3, 6, 12, 18% or something like that, right?
Yeah.
At least half of it because it starts at 50. So 9% should be at 59%, and it's not.
Mm.
So that seems broken right now. Anyways, counter missile extender. Someone in our page was asking if that could be used along with guided missile systems, and the answer is no. It's either one or the other, right? I mean, it's either solid fuel booster or guided missile systems or this guy. The difference is this guy does not give you an accuracy buff. It does not make you retarget, but it gives you an anti-missile extra range and extra reload. Guided missile systems doesn't give you extra reload, so it's kind of a choice. Do you want 30-40% extra accuracy, or do you want 30% extra reload? Pick your poison.
And again, it also seems very specific, right? Like, to be honest with you, looking at it, I would only use that special with that weapon. Do you know what I mean?
I don't.
Because
well, I mean,
yes
and no.
I don't know. I don't think I would use it for anything else.
Well, if you have a missile hull that already has retarget, let's say you have a V2H and loaded with missiles and it already has retarget, or a Neptune, I think, already has retarget. It doesn't really matter which missiles you have. I mean, you can have all blades, all Harriers. I mean, you get the range, same range, but now you got to choose. Do you want a buff on your reload, or do you want a buff on your accuracy? Right? And then the other thing to choose is, do you want to add retarget, if your hull already has it, it's useless? Or do you want a buff to your flanks, even if you don't have the new missile, you get a buff on your flanks?
Mhm.
It's kind of a trade-off. I really don't see that as a... And maybe it's even worth running a few ships in the fleet with one and a few ships in the fleet with the other.
I don't like
Awkward silence.
No,
It's nothing. I just feel like everything's so negative just now. Like, I can't say anything positive about anything. Like,
I mean,
I don't
looking
know.
at it, I'd rather have the retargeting and less fire rate. Do you know what I mean? It's just I don't get it.
Hmm. I don't know. I think it's very easy to formulate opinions on the statistics of weapons and items, but in all fairness, they do tend to operate differently in action. So
True.
until we get these built and get these on a ship, we really don't have a clue how that's
Yeah,
going to work.
we don't know until someone builds them and tests them.
Fair
That's for
point.
sure.
Mm.
You know, so I mean, I don't want to keep referring to the preview, but when I was in there, although as Ren stated earlier, they weren't fully coded, I was still having quite a good continuous stream of missiles firing while the countermeasures were working. At least it seemed that way. I didn't seem to really drop my fire rate a great deal.
You didn't have retargeting, no.
No, but we're talking about the primary, secondary. I'm just discussing the primary, secondary.
Oh,
aspect.
right. I thought you meant like the preview was good and you had no problems. I was like, what?
Let's not get into that.
See, but it's the retargeting which makes the missiles worth. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what makes missile fleets is the fact that it will jump from one to one. Like it won't just it won't just fire at one and stop and then fire.
Yeah,
But
once you kill something, the rest of the string moves on to the next target. That's good.
Well, I mean, these two items are designed to work together.
Because that's what's so frustrating about launcher fleets. Don't you wish you could have retargeting on launcher fleets?
Oh yeah.
Ever since they came out, it's so frustrating because something dies and that whole stream just goes in the water.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're taking damage while you wait for the next one to get to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine, Ren. Go on. That's fine.
I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, of course.
So the other prices, Andrew created this very good table here for us.
Thank you,
Again,
Andrew.
yeah, thank you, Andrew. I mean, again, things here are pretty much putting you either down the cannon stream or the missile stream. So either you go on the left and you get stuff to make your raid better, or you go on the right column and you get the stuff you need to do mines and draconian bases. Which is weird because I think most of those now you can just craft in the foundry. So I don't know why they're here. The two ships, I mean.
Trident, nice. It's nice to see the Trident there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I don't like the Trident.
No, but the Trident is one of the few things that if you put Tridents on a Zoe in your base with strike warheads at R15, right? They're putting out something like 3,700 damage a shot, which is just over the deflection of the Revenge. Right, so it's not massive. It's only it's something like 300 damage a missile that hits, but you've got 15 of them on a Zoe, and if it's overloading with a Wrath or a Grimshine's Berserker,
then it hurts.
Do you understand? So it's actually quite a good missile to have. If you don't have it, I mean, it's a short range, but if you've got it on a Zoe in your base, then you've got the retargeting, the remote targeting, right?
Yeah, but it's short range. I mean, if you put them on a Rhino and you put just one long range missile, it retargets off itself, right?
Exactly.
I mean, what's the range difference between the Trident and this new missile we're getting?
The new one is the same as Blade and Harrier. It gets to 98. And I think the Trident, if memory serves me well, it doesn't get to 90.
No.
Or it just gets to 90, something like that.
No.
So I think for low levels, getting the D4M and the Rhino and assuming you have Harrier or Blade, but if you don't, get the Trident. And next raid, you're going to be doing much better.
I'm sorry, I just have to specify, that's only with the Zoe, by the way, right? If you put it on the Rhino, it's still over the deflection, but it's very, very minimally over the deflection.
But you're talking base defense.
Yeah,
right?
in base defense. You'd have to put it on the Zoe for it to be effective, right?
Now, the other thing that people were getting confused, the whole Kixeye announced for some reason that the top tiers would be locked, 5 and 6. But now they said if you already have a prize from tier 4, so I already have nuclear accelerators, that means tier 5 would be already unlocked. And tier 5, I already have particle accelerator cannons, so tier 6 would be unlocked. But if you don't have any of the prizes in tier 4 or tier 5, then the tier above it, it's going to be unlocked until you redeem one of them. So again, they don't want people getting the missile without the special, or getting the ship without the special and the missile. Pretty much that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's what they did in the Centurion raid, isn't it? They kind of structured the tiers to say, right, you can build a fleet on this side, or you can build a fleet on this side, and they kind of gave you everything you needed, for the ship. And I think they've done exactly the same thing here, haven't they?
Pretty much. I mean, except there nobody was locked. I mean, that time you could still get the Centurion without getting the weapon below it.
What they've pretty much done is given you all the tools you need to do dubs or mines, or all the tools you'll need to do the raids.
Yeah.
And let's rewind back to the last raid cycle. The Citadel was the first hole in the first event of that cycle, and it was on offer again the second time, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I even think the Apollo's going to be on offer again next month.
I think that.
I think it will have to be, because I think
don't rely on that though.
No, not relying. It's just a guess.
Don't rely on that though, man. Just because you heard somebody say that, don't rely on that, because No,
I didn't hear anybody say it. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying to you. I'm saying to the people listening. Don't rely on that just because you heard somebody say it might be there, right? Because Kixeye have a funny way of like upsetting it every now and then. Do you know what I mean? So you never know.
You never know. Yeah, I mean, I get what Monster said earlier as well. Like, was it you, Monster, that said it, that a lot of the stuff there is actually available. The holes there are actually available through the Foundry now. So
yeah,
like you could get a Centurion in the Foundry, can't you?
So yeah, getting the Crusader here or the Centurion here, I think would be a waste of points. I mean, you're better served getting these points and getting tokens then.
And again, like the particle accelerator cannon, yeah, it's cool. It's actually quite a really cool weapon, but you could probably pull off a Centurion fleet without it.
Yeah. The one weapon there, if you're gonna go the cannon way, the cannon path, the one weapon's the Arbalest. Get it. Yeah. If you don't have it, get it. It's cheap.
Well, there's the prize list. So okay.
Then we have tokens. I just moved on. I mean.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, that's great.
So we have the tokens again. The tokens will not be locked. 15 million points gets you all the tokens you need.
Which I have to say, that's one thing that I'm quite happy about. I'm glad that they did that they made it so the tokens are not locked.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Lucy has been quiet for over 10 minutes now, so somebody asked me to remind of the Save Lucy movement. Is she alive? Is she okay?
I'm not sure if she's drifting in and out of sleep.
I think Liam locked her in the basement again.
She's gone back in the cage tonight. She was being a bit misbehaved, so.
Okay. Then we have shards, which to me personally was a very welcome addition instead of those new limited prizes that were just improvements on the old limited prizes that was the last chance to get them, blah, blah, blah.
And unexpected as well.
Yeah, not that I'm going to chase the shards, mate, but yeah.
I will be going for the shards. I will be going for 77 million this raid.
Yeah, I mean, if I have points, I'll get some of them, like Ghost Crawler first, because I don't have one. But if I don't, I don't. I mean, I'll go for the prizes, and I don't even know if I'm going to build the Apollo for now, because based on recent trends, I'm going to wait until it's changed or nerfed or buffed or whatever. But but I'm going to get the BP and get the tokens.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely collect it. I kind of feel a bit like you, Ren, on that regard. I'm not 100% sure about the Apollo at the moment.
Yeah, I'm still building my revenge fleet. I don't have them all finished. So. And final word of advice: use crews at all times. I think people forget about them. People underestimate them. Some people don't roll the daily free crew. Or some people have uranium when they're doing dubs, and people who do uranium bases and don't spend their uranium before that, rolling for grease monkeys or something like that, are just wasting a great resource in the game.
Do you know what? I've never seen one of those elite mercs.
They're not available anymore. I mean, I want them to come back, but they were from the River Raid cycle. Yeah. When you freed some Forsaken ships and you could get them.
Oh, right, okay.
I still have a couple, and they're really good. They give you 25% combat and turn speed and damage protection bonuses. Oh, it's really good.
Okay, yeah.
Grease Monkeys, I think during raid time, everybody knows it's a quarter repair time then. So I use them when I know I'm going to have a solid hour and a half to play non-stop. Yeah. And I hit the hard targets, and I only coin, half of what I would be otherwise, even less, because they give you more resistance to, right?
Yeah.
DOS, I think it's good if our enemies have high evades and your missiles are not hitting, then they're good. If you're fighting low evade enemies, I don't waste them. Deadeye, the one on the right there, Silver Crew. Critical hits for everything except UAV, so again, it's a good one to use.
That is a good crew. I've got a few of them, mate. I do like that.
That's a very good one, and I got 4 of them stored.
Yeah.
That from above. I tried the carriers in preview against the B set. The B target we had there, I think, was the 65. It wasn't bad. So I think if you have any of those crews with UAV and a tank, it's a good choice to do tier B, not tier A. I wouldn't go there with UAVs, I don't think. Bullseye Brigade, again, only good if your enemy is high evade, so I'm going to have to check the targets first. If they're high evade, 100% accuracy, it's really good.
Yeah.
And for kiting, the remote raiders, even if you're not doing drones, they give you 30% combat speed to all ships, so it makes you much, much faster. If you need to kite, but you can stay away from the heavy cruisers, that's a good crew.
Yep, it certainly is.
Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. Nice little segment there on the cruise.
Then people are going to say, oh crap, I don't have this legendary cruise and whatnot, so here's a second slide with the more common crews that are helpful this raid.
Mm-hmm. I was just about to mention a couple of the crews there, so...
Yeah,
nice.
So Sea Serpents, always useful, because it's going to give you a turn and evade buff. Always useful against missiles all the time, so worst case, keep using them all the time. And Steelheads, 15% more resistance. They have their regular version, gives a little less of a buff, but still good. And then some specialized crews. I mean, if you're running missile ships yourself, Wolfpack, critical hits with missiles, always good, and it lasts for a whole hour. It's a common crew, so it's very good. It's going to save you some damage there.
Mm-hmm.
Molotov Maidens are only there if people are using scatterguns. If you're, because I tried scatterguns and they do well. The heavy cruisers with scatterguns are not as good as the Rhinos, but they could do tier B fine.
But it's an option, isn't it?
It's an option, right? Mm-hmm. And Salty Dogs. People only think they're for ranking, but if you're using Rhinos or any other Forsaken ship, you get a 15% turn and reload buff.
Yeah.
So think about it, right? It's not just for ranking. And that's it.
Well, that was good.
Nice.
I like the crew bit. A lot of people are saying that in chat, how that crew bit you done there is really helpful. So
just loving the crew tonight. Loving the crew.
And I mean, anybody, I mean, still have a day to run to hit armadas, get uranium, and you should be starting the raid with 50 crews in stock. You should, really.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm a little bit sort of behind on the crews this raid, but I've got a ton of silvers. I just haven't got many of the legendaries, so it should be okay. But it's not too late. Get out there and hit some dubs and bag some crews and get some coins ready.
Yeah, hit some level 45 armadas, level 60 armadas. And if you didn't do it this time, do it next time. I mean, you could get 30 crews a month for free, one every day, right? And then the reroll is like 400. The reroll is 400 uranium on the common ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And you're probably more than likely to get a 1-star from them than 1,000, like.
Well, it's not been it's I don't know. I don't know if this raid's going to be good or not in a moment. I'm more concerned about this raid than I have been in any raid in a long time. But what I can assure you is that the Forsaken Council is going to be here, and we're going to try and do our damnedest to give out some helpful advice and some helpful information. The second that raid kicks off, there'll be some videos out, and there'll be some information circulating. So even for those players that are feeling a little bit unsure, maybe don't play it when the raid kicks off tomorrow. Maybe take a step back, wait a few hours, check a few pages, have a look in the forum. Even in your game, like just look around in your sectors and see what other players are using, and try and work out what's best for you. Try and find that sweet spot. Figure out how much points you can get, how much coins available, if any, and calculate how much score you think you can grind. Set a target and go for it. As I said, I don't know what this raid is going to be like, but I'm sure the Forsaken Council will be buzzing with videos and helpful advice once it does kick off.
Yeah.
Is there anything anyone else wanted to add in before we close the show this week?
I'm just gonna add that, I'm gonna play the raid. I think people watching this show will play the raid. People in our page will play the raid. And my only message, I've seen the past couple of days, and it annoys me sometimes. People who are just there to call for a boycott or call whatever. Honestly, if you're not having fun with the game, get out. Mm-hmm. Find another game to play. Don't make yourself suffer. Just find something that's fun, right? And stop just barfing over at people, at people's parties. That's I don't know. That's my message.
No, I agree. I fully agree. I don't like this whole, let's have a boycott. Let's have a protest. Let's do, that's just stupid. We're in a game, It's just completely, it's such a stupid attitude to take.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get some fun back into the game, though, mate. It's just, I think a lot of players are like, right, I've got armadas to do, I've got mines to do, I've got dubs to do, I've got this to do, I've got that to do. Oh, look, I've got another raid to do, and it just seems to be a bit of a cycle, man. Sometimes I think it would be nice if we missed a raid for like a month. Just so people could catch up on fleets and stuff, which I know Kinks is a business and they've got to make money and stuff, but it'd just be nice to have like a break. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Oh, 100%.
Well, I agree. It's been a tough time. It's been a tough time these last couple of months. We've seen the game be completely retransformed and reshaped into something completely different as to what it was last year and to what it was a few months ago, and we're still seeing a large amount of changes. It seems the last 3 months, the whips and the updates, it's just been incredible amount of content. And if you're still here, then you've been here for the ride and you've probably enjoyed it, or at least parts of it. And I'm sure it will get better. I do believe they have a plan. And I still have faith in that plan. Even if I can't quite see it myself.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll close it on that note there. But guys, as I say, catch us in the page. I may be streaming the raid. I'll probably set up a stream. I'm not sure if it'll be the first hour of the raid, but I am in World Alpha, so I'll try. keep in touch on the page. I'm sure there'll be some info up, and we'll also be discussing like a mid-raid, how's it going kind of thing on Saturday. So catch us on that. Thanks everyone for coming out, and thanks everyone for supporting the Forsaken Council. Hope everyone has a good raid, and we'll see you on Saturday. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.